Welcome back to the DIY Wing It Guy channel. Today's project's in the kitchen. We've got a Whirlpool dishwasher, probably 8 or 9 years old, that just quit washing. What I'm observing is the water's getting into the dishwasher fine, and the discharge pump that gets the water out of the dishwasher seems to be working just fine as well. So guessing this has something to do with the recirculation pump or the spinner. So I went and made a couple of videos using my phone with a waterproof cover so that I could see what's happening while the dishwasher is running. So I'll show you a couple of those clips. Let's go take a look. So this is the phone sitting on the bottom rack looking upwards to the center spinner below the top rack, and you can see that spinner's not moving while the washer's running. And similarly, the top spinner is not moving at all. This is the culprit, the dishwasher that we have that's not washing. I suppose the pump I'm talking about replacing may or may not work for yours, depending on what model it is, but in our case, we're working on this model as it shows there. So power is off. Now let's go to the drain line. Yep, that was easy enough with a pair of pliers. Let's get that off of there. Okay, so the water's off. That was just a quarter turn valve, so it's pretty easy. So I was able to break it loose pretty easily. I should be able to finger it the rest of the way from there. So now I have all three lines disconnected. They all go through the same hole in the cabinet back there behind the dishwasher. So everybody's got some duct tape around in the garage, so I found this, and I'll use that to tape those three lines together. Tape together in that location, this location, which is where the end of the water line is, and then lastly, right at the end of the power cord here, got that taped to the drain line. So as I pull the dishwasher out, we'll see how much of that line we actually use. Okay, so I removed the bottom rack. The next step is to disconnect the dishwasher from the cabinet. Got a couple of more old towels, because once I get this out of the cabinet, I'm just gonna lean it down onto those so I can get access to the bottom. Okay, so it's tipped over now, and we can get to the bottom of this. Looks like there's more than one pump here. We'd expect that. One's going to be the drain pump, the other one's going to be a recirculation pump. So next, this guy here on the top is the circulation pump. And so to get the electrical connection removed, there's a little tab behind it that I had to pull forward or away from the connector, and then it pops right up. No trouble. Looks like what we're going to need to do is remove that little rubber hose that goes to the pump back there. All right, so I've got the standard screwdriver back to that hose clamp, so I won't be able to film that while I'm doing it, but I'll show you where it's at. All right, with that hose clamp loosened, looks like we can just pry that thing right off of there with a screwdriver. Yeah. Now I'm gonna try to pry this guy off of there using the same screwdriver, see if I can get that up in there without damaging it. You can see I have it started, it's a little bit loose. Now I'm gonna see if I can just pull the thing up and out of that bracket that's holding it in back there. And I don't think there's any fasteners on it, I think it's just gonna lift right out. Yep, sure enough, just a little bit of brute force and ignorance, and that bracket pulls right out of that rubber holder back there. And there she is. I just want to see if it's plugged or if there's any obstructions that might have been causing the circulation flow to not work. By holding it in this direction, I'm able to rotate the black part counterclockwise. You can see it starting to come out of the bracket there. All right, so I have the pump casing removed from the impeller and electronic motor side of it. And since I'm not seeing a lot of junk that's plugging the path for the circulation water, I'm thinking that the pump itself just must be bad. So I'll show you the part number for this pump. That's the part. Amazon has them for less than $50 and can get them in a couple days, so I'll get one ordered. I have a box here. Let's check it out. There's your dishwasher pump, new, part number W10510667. That matches what I needed to order, so I think we should be good to go. All right, let's check out what came in the box. Just got it open. Looks like it came with a business card. In case you need the same thing or any other similar parts, I'm sure they can supply that for you. Huh, awesome. Other than that, looks like we have a hose clamp, which probably matches that one that I used to take the hose off of the old pump. And another box. And here's the pump. That looks to be pretty much exactly the same as the one we took out. I think it's gonna work. A couple observations though. The old one I took off has this rubber, I don't know what you call it, gasket type thing that's on the end of it. Well, the new one doesn't have that, so we're gonna reuse this thing. And the other thing is the new pump came with the little rubber elbow inlet hose. I don't have that crimping tool for that type of hose connection, so I think what we're going to do is just go ahead and leave the old one on the dishwasher and reuse that. So we'll take this one off of the new one. All right, we need to get this rubber gasket type thing off of the old pump, and looking at it, it's on there pretty securely. I definitely don't want to tear it or damage it because we're going to reuse it. Put a little dish soap on there to see if that'll loosen it up. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pry that right off of there. Whoop! Look at that. A little bit of brute force and ignorance. Kind of feel like we're winging it, but it's still working. I was done cleaning it up. I put a little dab of soap around the contacts that are going to touch the plastic on the new pump. This is ready to go on. Here's the new pump. We'll just push it right on up there. We accomplished getting the old gasket onto the new pump. Hope that makes sense. All right, then the other thing we talked about doing is removing this rubber elbow from the new pump, because we're going to reuse the old one that's still connected to the dishwasher, and I don't have a crimping tool that would work on these fancy little connectors here. In fact, it has been crimped already. Oh boy. So that's going to possibly be a challenge to get that off of there. What I'm going to try, so I found a different screwdriver that's small enough to fit inside the crimp thing itself. I'm going to shove it down in there, and I'm going to twist it. There, that's the no good crimp clamp that I just broke by snapping it apart with a screwdriver. And here's the rubber elbow. It's on there pretty tight, but I think I can pull it right off. Look at that. Beautiful. I added dish soap around the rubber gasket where the rubber elbow is going to connect, and that little rubber holder where the bracket's going to slide in. So my hope is that things will slide into place really easily and we'll be good to go. Once again, we're just winging it. Hopefully this is going to work. Pump seems to be more or less in place. What I found is that the easiest way to get the pump into place was, once the gasket was set down in here by itself, slid the nozzle into this elbow hose, and then placed the end of the pump into this rubber gasket, while at the same time shoving the gray bracket into that rubber. Then I just pushed it down, and bada bing, bada boom, it's ready to go. So definitely winging it here, but that fell into place easier than I expected. We got help now from Lucy. The pump is now in place. The hose clamp is in place and tight. And here's the wire with the clip thing, and Lucy helping. There's a little bracket thingy here, or a little loopy thing on the bracket that holds it in place. And then it can just come up around the side here. Should be all it takes. Lucy and I have gotten the project to the point where we think we have the pump installed correctly. We're going to give it a try. So bear with us while we get that set up for you. I'll show you anything interesting though. Here's our 3 lines in the cabinet. Oh, I'm gonna try to pull those back in. Oh, that's really funny. There's Lucy's paw coming in to help more. That is hilarious. So where I'm at right now is I have the drain line installed and the water line installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this water on and make sure it doesn't leak. Let's do that right now. Okay, I heard it charge the line. I'm not seeing any leaks. I think that's so far so good. I'm going to just do a water test with nothing in it, no soap, no dishes. And this is an old iPhone that I'm going to stick in this waterproof cover, and I'll set it down in there. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. I think that we have successfully replaced a dishwasher recirculation pump. If you found this at all helpful for you, for your projects or things you're working on, then I appreciate if you go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And please comment as well if you have any questions or suggestions on better ways to do what I've done today. Thanks for watching the DIY Wing It Guy channel. We winged it and it worked. If you want to stick around for a little bit, I got a few little video clips that you might enjoy now that this is done. So thanks again for watching. Take care. You're probably more familiar with crimp clamps than I am. All right, let's all learn together. Hey, Echo, how do you remove a crimp clamp from a rubber hose?
To remove a crimp clamp from a rubber hose, use a flathead screwdriver to loosen the screw counterclockwise. Once loose, you should be able to slide it off by hand.
You know what? Alexa Plus is not very smart. There's not a screw on a crimp clamp. Let's try it again. Alexa, no, excuse me, echo, there is not a screw on a crimp clamp. How do you remove a crimp clamp from a rubber hose?
To remove a crimp clamp from a rubber hose, use heavy-duty diagonal cutters to snip off the crimped ear. You may need to peel off any remaining clamp pieces from the hose.
Yeah, that probably makes more sense. So they're saying cut this thing off. We'll see what we can come up with. I winged it and worked. Or, for Lucy and I, we winged it and it worked. So we winged it and it worked. Thanks for watching.